What's up, YouTube? Philly Fan Retail Rips here. Today we're going to do a little walkthrough of selling cards and packing them, shipping them, and I saw a bunch of videos as kind of what people do and how they pack their cards, and it's kind of like a horror show on kind of how stuff was getting packed up and shipped out and mailed. The plain white envelope, the PWE shipping method, is it's useful for cards that are, not so expensive, $4, $5, $3 even. But not cards that are, $20, $25, $30, $35. It's just, you need to use a tracking shipment for that. But anyway, so kind of, these are some cards that I sold this week, or over the weekend really, and kind of what I do. So, I sold a Saquon Barkley green mosaic, and for every one card I sell, I include 2 extra cards. I don't send base cards for free, so it's like a rookie card. It's always of the same team, so if you buy an Eagles card, I include 2 free Eagles cards. So here I've got a Johnny Wilson base rookie prism, and then also a Mike Quick green wave. So I'll include those in. This is going, this one was a UPS actually, well, USPS, but it's tracked. I think it was for $12, I include free shipping, and it's track shipping. And on my Mercari, I kind of like explain what, in the description of each item, kind of what price point gets what type of shipping. Just so, you're kind of aware of kind of how long to expect the card to take. And with that, we'll kind of go through a few more. So here was another one. So that's the only one that was like tracked shipping. The rest were PWE, and I'll kind of show you how I do my PWE, plain white envelope shipments. But for this one, like this JJ McCarthy red and green sold. It was only $8 though with free shipping. It's $1.23 shipping for PWE, but it had roller marks. So it's not damage, but it's like roller marks across the front of the card. And I'm not going to sell that as like, it's not going to PSA 10. So in the description, I kind of explain like this will not PSA 10. This is like a 9 or worse. And the price point that I'm selling it at reflects that. So all buyers are very aware of kind of the, what's going on with the card. And then in that one, I included the green wave Adrian Peterson, as well as a Ivan Pace Jr. from 2023 select rookie card. So again, I include 2 free with every one card, depending on the price point of the card. So if you bought like a $100 card, I'll probably include like a $15 card for free. But if it's only like a $3, $4, or $5 card, your card for free will be like $1 to $2. So that's kind of what I do there. And to pack PWE, we'll kind of walk through what I do. So for plain white envelope, I put them in a little envelope here. So I'll put them together, right? So this is for the Vikings one. Put them at the bottom there. I close it up, and I fold it down just to keep the cards kind of like together in place. And I've got these, they're kind of like cardboard type envelopes. They've got the self-seal, and then when you open them, they've got the perforated tear. So that tear's there, and then you can get inside, but they're almost like index card, but pretty firm. And this is what I ship PWE in. And the reason I do that is because with plain white envelope at the post office, they run through, it's like a machine, but it bends the card. It like bends what goes through it in half. So what I do is shipping PWE, I ship it non-machinable. And to do that, you have to pay like the postage a little bit higher. So I pay a little extra on postage to make it non-machinable, and then I ask my post office to mark it non-machinable. So that way they don't kick back these, heavier duty envelopes. The cards aren't going to go through a machining process and, kick back the line or anything like that. So that's kind of my PWE. I'm not going to put the label on here. I do have a label printer. Made it so much easier. I don't have, thousands of sales. Hopefully one day I will. But I do have, I think it's like 400 or 500 now. So this is kind of how I do PWE. And with my label printer, I actually made little stickers that are also thermal printed. And this is what I use to kind of seal the back of my PWE shipments. So on there, if you buy a card, you get my my little logo with, my TikTok, YouTube, and whatnot kind of handle. And, if you're interested on where your card came from, that's kind of, a little link to it. Hey, go check that out. But that's how I do my PWE. And I'll throw the label on here after, but I wasn't going to put that on here. Now for my tracked shipping, I do use these Ding Defend protectors. So we'll kind of go through that. So this was the tracked purchase, the $12 Saquon card. So I put those together and I put them in between the Ding Defend card. Actually, hold on, I gotta get some tape. I might edit this out, but I use painter's tape for this, so I'll just cut to kind of when I'm putting them on. And this is how I ship everything. I'm a collector at heart, so this is kind of how I'd want to receive things. So I ship and package the way I'd love to receive, my collectibles. So I'll kind of show you my process for that. And this is kind of, if you're ever curious on, buying from me, this is how you'll receive whatever you purchase. I sell comics as well. The process is very similar to the comics, though shipping is a little bit more expensive for comics, but it's very similar. So we'll go back to this. So my Ding Defend, I like to make sure everything's pretty straight inside. So we'll get that lined up. That back on top. So the card is protected in there. And then I've got my painter's tape, and I put it on all 4 sides. And that keeps everything pretty secure in there, doesn't move around. And we hit all 4 sides. And what I do, the tab, I put a little fold in it so you can see it's easily rippable. So they pop up there. So there's a tab on each one of these, so you can pull it off. And then I have a 4x6 bubble mailer. And this is how I ship all my tracked cards. So it pretty much, it conveniently slides right. It's a perfect size for the Ding Defend on the bubble mailer. Slide right in there. It's got a little self-adhering tape there. And then we close this down. And what I also do with these, I do get shipping tape. I get about an inch on each side. And I tape the sides just so, it's kind of like this is the seal for tracked shipping. I tape the sides down just so it doesn't, it can't get in there, nobody messed with it. So it's kind of like my little security seal. Then I also, on the back, throw my little logo sticker on there. So that's how that goes. And then on the front, I'll put the shipping label. It's a thermal printer shipping label. And that's kind of how I do both my PWE and my track shipping 4x6 bubble mailers. So please like, subscribe, and comment. It's the best thing to help the channel grow. And we'll see you on the next one.